This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abich, founder of Abich Financial Services.
It is the season for food, for gifts, for family, for friends, for decorations. And you might have opinions about some of your neighbors who put up their Christmas lights before Halloween in some cases. Maybe, I think you were saying you had neighbors, you saw it happening November 1st. Boom. Christmas on.
One of my best friends and his wife and family, they live in the Tampa, Florida area.
Oh, yeah.
It's the day after Halloween. We're like, dude, we're not even near Thanksgiving yet. We just finished Halloween. You were just sending us your costume pictures. And the Christmas tree is popping up on November 1st. I mean, can we get into November?
Well,
but no, they had that tree up. I don't know. Shelly and I, our thing is we get through Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then it's typically, just shortly after Thanksgiving. Maybe it's that Thanksgiving weekend that the tree goes up. But that's kind of how we've always been. Like, hey, let's celebrate Halloween. Let's have fun there. Let's get through Thanksgiving and enjoy that. And then let's get to Christmas and everything there.
Maybe you need to take a cue from your friend and your neighbors because they could be onto something. It turns out psychologists have found that those who decorate earlier are in fact tapping into the excitement of the holidays before the rest of us. And it makes them happier. So for all of y'all poo-pooing early decorations, maybe we need to take note. And if we relate that back to the work that you do at Abich Financial, Abe, it runs parallel as far as mindset and how we feel about things. Because if you think about retirement planning, the earlier, the better in some cases. We talk a lot. We say, if you're 55 or older, and 55, some people might be saying, I'm not ready to retire yet. But exactly, 5 to 10 years from retirement is a great space we've discussed to begin the conversation. Would you not say, for somebody who doesn't have a financial advisor, when's the earliest that you recommend somebody talk to?
I would say the earliest would be 10 years. Out, right? So if you were planning on retiring at 65, 55, and there's a lot you can get done in that 10-year window. Yeah. And if you're retiring in less than 10 years and you're maybe down to 5 years or less, call that the retirement red zone. That's also a really good time. If you're 5 years out, 3 years out, there's still a lot that can be done, a lot of meetings that can be had. We meet with our clients typically 4 times a year. Okay. If you're 3 years out, you're talking about 12 plus meetings. Every single meeting we have with our clients typically gives them added confidence, added clarity, more confidence to pull the trigger and be as confident as possible in that decision. And they know as much as they can possibly know about what's going to happen when I pull the trigger and retire. Where's the income going to come from? Yeah. And, what is my portfolio probably going to look like? What is the amount probably going to look like? How much income can that generate from us? What can we do? Or do I need to work another year or two longer? So when you're talking about, being 5 years or less away from retirement, getting in and meeting with a planner, putting a plan together 5 years or less out is a great thing to do because you have time to work on it and get things lined up exactly the way you want them to be.
Speak more to the advantages of time frames and allowing yourself enough time in planning for retirement. What's an example of things you've helped people achieve? Yeah,
and again, you can still put together a plan if you're months away or a year or two away. And if you're in retirement, you may be in retirement 5 or 10 years in and still don't have a plan, but maybe your income is covered, right? You've got pensions and Social Security. You're kind of living okay, but you still don't have a plan. You have a collection of accounts. You have a pile of money. Yep. So it's still not too late, even when you're in retirement. Just the other day, we met with a gentleman and wife, and the gentleman's around 80. And the wife's about 65. They've been in retirement for a long time, but they still don't have a plan. They had a lot of money. And we just helped another single gentleman here recently. He's similar situation. Now he's 5 years out. Okay. And so this has really helped him to put together a plan. He's 62. Yeah. Retiring at 67 is the plan around the Woodbridge, Virginia area, $2 million. Nice. No plan. He's like, hey, I want to retire at 67. And he can see the finish line coming down the pike soon. You're talking about 60 months or less. And I'll tell you, Heather, every time we have these meetings, people then ask, well, if I can retire at 67, can I retire at 65? Sure. We talked about 5 years, Abe. I'm getting tired now. I want to spend more time with my wife and my grandkids, and I want to golf more. Can I do it at 65? Can I do it at 2 years? And that's the benefit of putting a plan together years out from retirement. 10 years or out or more, probably too much. 5 years or out or less, really good timing. No plan, wanted a clear path forward, wanted consolidation. Sometimes people can forget about accounts. Wanted a clear path forward, consolidating and streamlining his accounts. He was divorced, now remarried. That brings into the situation some interesting discussions. They're going to combine all of their monies and accounts. Sometimes people want to keep them separate. Mm-hmm. The solution for him, with 5 years out, and now his new wife, was to put together a retirement roadmap, combine all the finances, consolidate, streamline, pull the resources together. He had a TSP. He's going to have a pension, had a TSP. We helped him with that account, had an IRA at a John Hancock or T. Rowe Price type of custodian. Mm-hmm. And now, 5 years before they retire, we're having discussions like, hey, you are good to go. Your portfolio is performing well. All of your income is going to be covered from your Social Security, your pension. He's got 2 pensions, got an annuity. All of his income is going to be covered and some, and a surplus without even touching his stock market portfolio. I mean, he's 5 years out. That's fantastic news. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple of years he's saying, can I do this earlier? And he would be able to do that. So those are the benefits of putting a plan together before you get to retirement, knowing exactly or having a very good idea of what all these things will look like for you is going to give you that added clarity and confidence, that added peace of mind to know that you can do this, because it is a total new plan, right? You focused on growing and on accumulating. You've been working. You've been getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. You've been working 40 to 60 hours a week. Now you're going to be enjoying the rest of your life. Hopefully, and you won't have anybody to answer to. You won't have to wake up to that alarm clock. You'll be generating income from your portfolio that you want to spend and enjoy while you're alive. You might want to pass money on. Whatever it is, that can be created, solved for, planned for via a retirement roadmap. Get one done for you. If you're 55 or older, you've saved $500,000 or more for your retirement. Pick up the phone right now for the next 5 callers and others, that retirement roadmap that helped this gentleman in Woodbridge, Virginia, complimentary.
All right. So obviously a roadmap, a bigger picture idea of where we're headed in the years ahead. Part of the full review process is obviously addressing our savings, in particular 401ks or TSPs for a lot of folks in this area, Abe. One easy financial move that we've talked about before is transferring money out of your old employer 401k to your own IRA. But here's what's happening for a lot of people. Vanguard says that plenty of people are doing this, but then it ends up just sitting there. And they go on to say 28% of those who roll over stay in cash for at least 7 years.
Wow.
Then when you ask if they want to invest that money, they're no longer presented with just, 10 or 15 options as most 401k plans are. Instead, because again, an IRA opens up a lot of opportunity. Now they've got thousands of options. So talk about analysis paralysis. And also it might feel like they're going from one risk bucket to another. While for many, cash, it just feels comfortable. The expression cash is king. So for somebody who is risk adverse, but still wants options, what are some options that maybe they haven't thought of?
Tons of options out there. And, typically most people, Heather, in retirement, leading up to retirement and in retirement, need a combination of both growth and income, of both risk and safety. And typically, more people than not need more money on the growth side, more leaning towards that growth side of the portfolio, because we could, and most of us probably will, live into our 80s and 90s, and that money's got to last us 20, 30, maybe even 40 years. But when it comes to people being risk adverse and maybe looking to reduce risk in their portfolios and life savings, there are tons of options. I mean, you've got the whole fixed income category, different types of bonds, and some of those might be all right. Some of those might not be great. You've got principal protected instruments you can look at. You've got buffered products like buffered structured notes, buffered ETFs. These buffered instruments can give you upside growth potential, and they can also protect you on the down. And sometimes you can even make money on the up or down, depending on where the markets go. These buffered instruments are interesting. But the main point here is you need a portfolio that's very diversified, that's not just pure octane and pedal to the metal and all in stock. But the closer and closer you get to retirement, that growth plus income, risk and safety combined to get you through retirement to create stability. So we just helped a couple recently in Gainesville, Virginia, $2 million, 70-30 was their desired allocation, came in as a 90-10 pure octane, living and dying with the market, all the ups, all the downs when 90% of your money's in stocks. But a lot of people are right now because the markets have been doing so well. Just don't get caught off guard, right? Make sure you have a good portfolio and set up for the ups and downs. So we helped them with risk reduction implemented some principal protected solutions, buffered solutions that also have protection on the down. Tactically managed portfolios are really important for retirees that can manage portfolios daily, obviously, but make changes monthly as needed. All that was discovered, planned for, put together through a portfolio X-ray. If you haven't had your TSP, 401k, IRAs, and brokerage accounts looked at recently, and you truly don't know or understand what you have, the ups, downs, pros, cons, cost, risk, get that measured and checked out ASAP. It's really important. Do you have a big pile of money, or do you have a plan for this next season of your life? That portfolio X-ray and analysis, complimentary.
So Abe, there was this guy, he's 65 years old. He wrote into an advice column on marketwatch.com, and he was talking about how he's been trying to be proactive. He's been pulling about 10% of his IRA out to do a Roth conversions, I believe about 10% a year. But the thing is, because the market has been doing what it's been doing, it's been on such a tear and up over 20%, his balance keeps going up, which, if we're being honest, this is a good problem to have, but a problem nonetheless, because what he's trying to do is he's trying to get all of his money de-taxed, and he feels just like he's on this treadmill, this hamster wheel. He cannot get ahead. So what would you tell somebody that's in this position?
This is happening to a lot of people right now because they're doing conversions, but the markets are up. So it's like you're making some progress and the account balances still go up. Well, look, if you're going to go along and do Roth conversions, which they can be for some people, they might not be for you as well. You'll know when to stop when the tax rate arbitrage flips. Before you withdraw money each year or at whatever interval you choose, you need to do a tax analysis. This is what we do with our clients in our office, a tax mapping report to find out and learn where are you going to be. You can't just convert an amount without even looking at the math. If the money is intended to eventually pass to your heirs, at some point you will also want to consider your tax rate versus theirs. The dollar balance of the account or the amount you convert each year is not the most important part. You're not trying to reach a certain level, but rather you want to pay as little in tax as possible when you convert. So treading water for a while with the conversions, taking money out while it's growing, and staying flat or inching ahead is just part of the calculation. However, if the answer is ever that the tax rate for the withdrawals will be lower in the future, then you need to stop converting, right? If we can predict that 10, 15 years from now, you're going to be on a lower tax bracket because some amount of income is going to go away, and that you'll be paying less tax down the road than today, then obviously it would not make sense to convert. For some people, this might be $300,000. For others, it might be $100,000. It might be $25,000. It all depends on where you started and what other income and deductions you have, and if tax rates change for the future. There's a lot to think about when you pursue these things. You shouldn't just go with your gut, right? You want to run the math.
Right.
We help a lot of couples with tax planning and people that come in. One of the biggest reasons why people actually come on board our firm is to put together a comprehensive plan that's not just continuing to manage the money, but looking at all of these other ancillary important parts of the plan, like tax planning. That could be Roth conversions, tax loss harvesting, whatever it is, but very important. This couple has almost $5 million saved, and nearly all of the $5 million, $4+ million of it, is pre-taxed, never been taxed. Wow. And they've got a problem, right? Especially if taxes go up. This tax problem will probably compound and worsen, probably. They're looking at $300,000 a year in conversions. They've got the cash to pay the tax bill. We discovered all of that with them. They found out kind of where they are and the plan that they want to put in place for them through our tax mapping plan, report, and analysis. If you're listening right now, you don't have a tax plan for your TSP, 401k, or IRAs. You've saved a lot of money, but most of it's pre-taxed. You want to address this and discover if a tax plan is right for you and how to pursue it. We want to offer you the same tax mapping report and analysis that we offer to this couple in Rockville, Maryland.
Abe and his team, they're here to help you do that. So it's theretirementkey.com to start the conversation, or you can just click on the links we've got posted in the show notes.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abich. To learn more about Abish Financial Services, visit theretirementkey.com and join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 8 a.m., 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. Abish Financial Wealth Management is a registered investment advisor with the SEC. Registration as an investment advisor does not imply a certain level of skill or training, and the content of this communication has not been approved or verified by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission or by any state securities authority. The information contained in this material is intended to provide general information about Abish Financial Wealth Management and its services. It is not intended to offer investment advice. Investment advice will only be given after a client engages our services by executing the appropriate investment services agreement. Information regarding investment products and services are provided solely to read about our investment philosophy and our strategies.